Buenos dias, Nialgues. This particular video I wanted to talk a little bit about something that I've noticed taking place. I've noticed it for a long time, for several years, but I thought I'd make a video specifically about it this time. The thing that I've noticed is basically this phenomenon to where I will move to a new place, everything's great, everyone around me is happy, everything there, there's no problems or anything like that. The longer I'm there, and this doesn't have to do with any kind of interactions with people because I keep to myself. I isolate myself basically as a permanent state of my existence. I have minimal contact with people. I always deal with everyone fairly. In fact, I usually overpay people a little bit so that so that there's no possibility that I'm wrong in any way, that I've wronged anybody or anything like that. And over time, things start to change when I'm in a place. And I start to, I've mentioned before, every night some asshole fucks with me while I sleep. They violate my consciousness with dreams, often of a sexual nature. And that is actually an entity, a sentient being with consciousness that does that to me. Now again, I'm trapped in this dimension where if you say anything happens that some fucking monkey cannot see, then all of a sudden you're crazy. And you're not allowed to talk about the fact that someone created this dimension. Someone is using this dimension to commit crimes. And you're vilified and mislabeled and pigeonholed and shit smeared and discriminated against by humans who all sit there and play make-believe about the most ridiculous shit there is. Like that which I just mentioned. You play make-believe that it's crazy to say that a sentient being is doing this dimension full of suffering and death, and he's a dick. The closest that humans come to that is, yeah, and also it's totally fine because someone ate an apple 6,000 years ago, you son of a bitch. And also, like, God, the only thing that ever existed, decided to create a bunch of monkeys as the pinnacle of his creation. And then he sent down his only son, who knows what the fuck these other monkeys are, sent down his only son and decided to torture and murder him so that these other monkeys could do whatever they wanted, commit crimes and get away with it. We'll call it forgiveness. Anyway, I digress. I've pointed out the stupidity of this before. But the point of this video is to talk about this. I'm constantly harassed from one place to the next. And it has nothing to do with my interactions with people. I treat people better than they treat me. I treat people better than they deserve. That is a fact. That is a statement of truth. It's a statement of truth that will be verified by greater beings. Now, the creator of this dimension wants to shit smear and vilify me. He wants to pretend like these humans surrounding me are innocent, and that even speaking out against them is me being wrongful or violent, for even saying words that they don't like, even in a calm and even tone. That is a statement of fact. Refer to that in the future. Because everyone with the right to exist will. So these humans doing all this really terrible, fucked up shit, staffing, creating, giving money, resources, false authority, enabling these crooked justice systems, crooked governments, crooked industries, crooked businesses of every kind. Turn around and make believe that me even saying this is wrong and is carried out by a sentient being. They make believe that that's crazy and something that they should hurt me for. They use terrorism, literally. The actual literal definition of terrorism. Trying to use fear to frighten and torment me into doing what they want and to stop speaking out against the wrongs they commit. Now, I've mentioned many times that for the crimes that have been committed against me, there are consequences. There are consequences that the shitbag who controls this dimension doesn't even understand, much less can see, much less wants to admit exist. That's a fact. This is a compartmentalization. These are crimes of existence and creation, and so those who have committed them have used degrees of separation to do that, in an attempt to remove themselves from the situation, to try to avoid consequences, therefore. That is a statement of existential fact. It is objective and irrefutable. The creator of this dimension is committing crimes of existence and creation and using compartmentalization in an attempt to avoid those consequences. He hopes. He's a patsy himself. He's fucked. But he has to be stupid enough to commit crimes of existence and creation. And so he is. He has to be arrogant enough to think that he'll be a child molesting rapist and then never pay as if he's going to use someone else as a patsy. And so he is. He is a tool used to do a slimy, despicable thing. And Yalgway. He is a sentient or ostensibly sentient being used to commit crimes of existence and creation for someone else. He's in Yalgway. And so are his creations as well. Another step removed from the right to exist. That is a statement of fact. That is an undeniable statement of fact. That is the truth. That is an undeniable fact. Okay? And so I have wondered many times why this is taking place, why I'm being hounded from one place to the next. And I've thought about why these things have taken place. One of the things that I suspect might be the case is because there are those consequences that the creator of this dimension wants to pretend don't exist. His lineage of creation is being hunted down by everyone with the right to exist and being held accountable for it. He's not only committing some of the worst crimes of existence and creation there are, he's also doing it like a sloppy pig-fucking retard. To make believe that he is fooling all of existence everywhere eternally and that nobody anywhere can see his sloppy pig-fucker retard shit is a child molester's masturbation fantasy. That is a statement of fact. Those responsible for what he is doing are being hunted down and tortured and tormented. And so one of the things I suspect has caused this asshole running this dimension to try to hound me from one place to the next. One thing I suspect is it could be that just like a nasty little child molester who knows that his actions have consequences, he wants to punish his victims to try to make believe he's retaliating against me for the justice that he's causing to be carried out against his lineage of creation. What a fucking retard, if that's the case. But I've seen it happen so many times, and I've seen how it's been done. I've seen how he goes about it. I've felt it. I've experienced it. That does seem like a very likely option. That does seem like a very likely possibility. And here's another point that you need to understand. The pointy end of the stick is the crime. And so if it seems like that to me, that's the crime that you're forcing me through. That's the suffering that you're forcing upon me. That's the experience of existence you are forcing me to experience. And so that's the crime you will pay for. You will pay for attempting to pervert justice by torturing your innocence because you decided to commit crimes of existence that have consequences. You commit crimes against an innocent, and then you try to cause more suffering for that innocent because you are racking up a debt that your lineage of creation has to pay. That is a parameter of justice you're setting. You dumb fuck. Okay? Another possibility that might be the reason why I'm hounded from one place to the next is because human beings and their facade of being innocents is crumbling. It's basically non-existent at this point. It's a retard playing make-believe with puppets when everyone can see that they're puppets. He has no real ability here to justify being such a sloppy pig fucker and make believing that a bunch of assholes actively fucking me over in the ways I've mentioned and in more ways. He has no justification for continuing to assert that these assholes fucking me over are innocent. The longer you're around somebody, there's a saying in this dimension: familiarity breeds contempt. And that applies to the asshole conducting these crimes. And just like everything else, that asshole tries to spew his own child molesting failures and negative traits upon the innocent that he's committing these crimes against. I've been accused of the nasty, slimy shitbaggery of the child molester who created this dimension countless times. He's a child molester. That's a literal fact. And so what has he done? He's created this society that says, you're a white male, and that means you're creepy, and like, he's violated me with lust, and if I even show interest in anybody, there's this fear that somebody might accuse me of being creepy or something like that. So I just practice abstinence, keep to myself. He's a child molester, and he wants me to feel and look and be perceived as a child molester. He's causing his lineage of creation to be hounded down and tortured for crimes of existence and creation. And so he wants to hound me around from place to place so that he can make believe that he's like something he's not. That is a statement of fact. For whatever reason, for whatever motivation he has to do that, that is something that's happening. Even going to a place where I don't even have any contact with other human beings. I spent 10 months in the country of Georgia in a house that didn't even have a fucking address. I had one 20-second conversation with one of the neighbors once, and that was it. 10 months. And that place was the same. The longer I stayed there, the more miserable I became. And of course, his little shitbags in their little coddled, spoiled, stolen soul positions, with their existences that were stolen, they have no right to, will turn around and try to play make-believe. Well, you know what that means about you is like, you're never happy, and like, that stems from like a... There is someone controlling this dimension. He uses this physical body to force feelings, thoughts, existential situations, physical situations. He uses this body to manipulate my existence and my experience thereof. He is obviously, irrefutably, proof all around us, a child molester committing crimes of existence and creation. He has never had the right to exist. That is a statement of such undeniable fact that he and his creator and his ultimate source of creation hide in a cowardly, sleazy, chicken shit manner while they make believe about the person they're fucking over in a hole. Every single word that just came out of my mouth is objective, existential truth. And now that I have notified your whole lineage of creation, and I don't need to post this video for that notification to be taking place, I could say it in a fucking broom closet that your lineage of creation is responsible for, and you would have heard. Plugging your ears does not mean that you haven't heard it. Compartmentalizing something doesn't mean you're not responsible for anything in it. The 12-year-old human child can understand that. That is a literal fact. And so now that I have notified your lineage of creation, your consequences for doing that are worse. I should also point out that the economic subjugation that you child molesters force onto me, that your humans force onto me in every single dimension, is one of the things that drives me from place to place, not being able to just buy a functional, sound home away from human beings and exist away and apart from all of you. That's being prevented by you child molesters forcing this upon me. Another irrefutable statement of existential truth. Guess what the consequences for that are? Your lineage of creation is being hunted down by those with the right to exist as it is. But you know what? Your lineage of creation goes forever. And even those of you that are whole and complete at this point can be existentially butcher tortured into a state where you need shelter. Because of what you've done to me wrongfully, that can be done to more of your lineage of creation rightfully. And the fact that you are actively perverting justice while you do this means that your lineage of creation can have even more of it forced upon even more of you wrongfully. That is a statement of fact. That is why your creator hides like a bitch behind retards who pretend like they're too fucking stupid to understand what 1 + 1 equals, while they simultaneously create nuclear submarines and cathedrals. You're fucking cowards. You're pathetic. And now that you've been notified of your lineage of creation's fucking stupidity in that dimension as well, the consequences for those, probably retroactively, definitely henceforth, those consequences for all of you everywhere are worse. Regardless of location, you will not compartmentalize those consequences eternally. That is a statement of fact. You're motherfucking stupid. You don't need to be. It serves no purpose. Other than making your little shitbag minions play make-believe more easily. That they're not pieces of shit while they're being pieces of shit. You're fucking stupid. And so's your ultimate source of creation, and so's the fucking pussy who created him. Carry out justice in full, everywhere, perfectly. No mistakes made, no innocents harmed, no wrongs committed, everywhere, eternally, right now.